Here you go. All you need to know about public transport in Bangkok. The pluses and the minuses, the pains and the pleasures from, oh, this is fun, to, oh my god! Let's start with taxis. The first thing to know about getting a taxi in Thailand is, compared to taxis in the West, they're as cheap as chips. But there are some things you have to watch out for. For example, after you've flagged a taxi down, the problems can start even before you get in the cab. You see, taxi drivers in Thailand like to pick and choose their passengers. This is a very normal occurrence. You tell the taxi driver where you want to go and they just won't take you. And if they don't want to take you, they rarely tell you politely. They just give you what I call the fly swat. By this I mean they pull a disinterested face without even looking at you, then simply waft their hand in the air as if something annoying's flying around their head. This time, the guy that actually took us, I filmed him when he wound the window down, and it kind of forced him into having to take us anyway. One of the tricks they have is they don't let you get in, they wind down their side window and ask you, and usually that's a very good sign that they're not going to take you. That particular taxi driver decided to pick me up and then a minute later said he wanted a shit and expected me to sit in the cab and wait for 15 minutes while I paid for his shit. So of course I got out of the cab and got another one. I mean, there are thousands of cabs in Thailand and there's always one coming within a few minutes. But apart from all the hiccups, it has to be said that there are a lot of taxi drivers who are friendly, sometimes helpful, and on occasion, a lot of fun.
Ding 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 ding, and the young ones, and the young ones, what really song, darling, it is the young one, the young. What the lot, all you lies. Oh, one needs you, and you need me. Oh, my darling, can't you see, young ones? Oh, yeah, young ones. 71.
71.
Yes, very good.
The next thing to watch out for is never, and I mean never, haggle the price. If they quote you a price, it's usually at least 3 times the actual real price of the journey, and it can be a great deal more, especially if they think you're a foreign tourist with a fat wallet. So don't even bother to haggle, just wait for the next one. All par for the course if you live in Thailand. Now once you've actually got in the taxi, make sure the meter's switched on. You'll usually see it in the centre of the dashboard and it starts at 35 baht. Ignore all the other numbers, they're not relevant. If the driver refuses to put the meter on or the number on the meter is more than 35 baht, just get out the cab and get another one. Now you also have to pay for the tollways, which cost you 50 baht for every tollway you go through. But other than that, there are no other hidden extras. Most cab drivers are pretty good at what they're doing these days, but most of them don't speak English. Tipping isn't necessary, just round up the price and make sure you've got a lot of spare change. If you only have big notes, some drivers will tell you that they've got no change, expecting you just to let them keep what you've given them. But if they say they've got no change, just go and find someone who will change it for you. They'll wait. As a gauge to get from Suvarnabhumi Airport to the centre of Bangkok, it'll usually cost you about 300 baht, maybe a little more. And when you get a cab from the airport, find the queue for the taxis and wait. Often the queues are long, but they go down very fast, and even though you have to pay an extra 50 baht for the service, it's the easiest and safest way to do it. Here are a few Thai phrases that might be helpful, and if the driver thinks you can speak a little Thai, there's less chance of him thinking you're a dumb tourist. This is what we call taxi Thai, which is about all I can speak, but it gets me around. Okay, first one, Pom Tong Can, which means I want to go. Then you follow that with your destination. Liao Sai is turn left, Liao Kwa is turn right, Trong Pai is go straight. Okay, Jiao Tong Ni Kao. Okay, Kao. Kok Kong Kao. Kong Kao. Kong Kao. Wadi Kao. And don't forget to say cap or car at the end of each sentence. If you're male, you say cap. If you're female, you say car. And if you're transgender, you say whatever you feel like. That whistle comes in really bloody handy. I'm glad I learned that when I was a kid. Of course, I didn't ask for a tuk-tuk. There he is. What? You're fine. Sawadika. Sabaydi. Okay. Willa supermarket. Willa. Stop it. Now, motorbike taxis, or motosai as the Thais call them, they're very convenient, the fastest way to get around and easy to find. You'll see little clusters of them on most street corners. Plus, they're generally very safe. I've only had one accident on a motorbike in the 30 years I've been here, and it wasn't their fault. But as there are no hard and fast rules for car drivers in Thailand, and courtesy is not in a Thai driver's handbook, keep an eye out for careless drivers on the road. Smile. Happy Jeffies. The price for a motorbike is not fixed. You tell them where you want to go and they'll give you a price, which you can negotiate, but often with little success. Still, it's usually not a great deal more than the fair price. A 5-minute journey usually costs about 40 baht. A couple of Thai words might come in handy here. Peng mak means expensive or too high, and kap cha cha means slow down. One tip is they don't usually give you a crash helmet unless you ask for one, and if you're not wearing a helmet and you get stopped by the police, it's the guy driving the motorbike who's responsible for any charges that will be incurred, not you. Tuk Tuks. Oh. Tuk Tuks are the unofficial symbol of Thailand, and every tourist wants to go in one. Pick up. Pick up. Big C gap. This is. Big C. Okay. It's like going on gondolas in Venice. You've got to try, but they can be bloody tricky. First off, the price is not fixed, and the drivers are known for charging tourists exorbitant prices. Plus, you might well end up at some jewellery shop you didn't want to go to in the first place. But for me, the worst thing is, unlike getting a gondola in Venice where you can get to sit back and relax and enjoy the view, when you get in a tuk-tuk, they're very noisy, uncomfortable, and all you can see are roads and pavements unless you lean out of the tuk-tuk, which I don't recommend you do unless you want the tuk-tuk to fall over or you get your head taken off by a passing bus. And talking about buses, the words slow, cheap and nasty come to mind. They're unkempt, and even if they're new, which they rarely are, they appear to have been on the road for at least 50 years. They also have a unique form of air conditioning, which is sometimes a couple of small ceiling fans that generally don't work. Alternately, you can just wind the window down. If you can just wind the window down. Here I am on the public bus, and as you can see, it's not what you would call the most comfortable. And I'm not staying, but the bus conductor has very kindly let me film. Well, this is a slightly more new, improved style of bus, but most of them are like the one I first showed you. Now, taking the bus is probably the cheapest way of getting around, but definitely the slowest. Moving on from roads to railway tracks, the MRT and BTS has undergone a major transformation over the last several years, making them unrecognisable from their once obvious third world looking chaotic, run-down, disorganised mess, and zooming into the 21st century like Superman on steroids. And the public has embraced them by conducting themselves in well-formed queues, go figure, and treating them with the respect their new gleaming surroundings deserve. Yeah, the rush hour crush is still very much in action, and the only difference between the packed-in passengers and a can of sardines is at least the sardines have got tomato sauce to separate them. Still, that's the same in every big city in the world. But you could quite easily be forgiven for thinking you were in Japan, and in fact many of the shops and stores in the malls incorporated in the stations are indeed Japanese stores and food outlets. Buying tickets is easy, convenient, and the good news is they're still cheap.
So you can buy tickets using this machine and accept coin 1 baht, 2 baht, 5 baht or 10 baht. You choose the station that you are going. You can change it to English. If you want to go to Siam, which is a station from here, then it shows you how much it costs, 16 baht.
I'm even tempted to start taking the MRT and the BTS myself again. Taxi! There are several kinds of express boats in Bangkok. Boats without flags operate from 6 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. and they run every 20 minutes from Monday to Friday, and they'll cost you somewhere between 10 and 20 baht. They stop at every pier. The boats with orange flags stop at main piers and they run from 5 a.m. till 7 p.m. and cost 15 baht. The boats with yellow flags work only during rush hours from 6:15 to 7 a.m. and from 4:45 to 8 p.m. One ticket will cost you 29 baht. They're bigger, faster and more comfortable, but they only stop at 10 locations and they're mainly used by people travelling to work from the north of Bangkok. The boats with green flags are fast track boats working from Monday to Friday, and a one-way ticket will cost you 32 baht. The boats with the blue flags are for tourists. They stop wherever you want and start running from 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. and cost 40 baht one way or 100 baht for the whole day. Now, the long-tail boats, which are usually featured in colourful booklets advertising Thailand, they're the tourist boats available for private hire. There are no fixed prices, the cost depends on the place, time and distance, and make sure you bargain for a good price or you will be ripped off. There are 32 piers in Bangkok, and if you just want to get to the other side of the river, the boats you're looking for look like big metal rafts with roofs. Yeah, they're slow, but they only cost 3 baht. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you've got any more questions about travelling around Thailand, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you ASAP. And please like, share and subscribe to Living the Thai Life. Thank you. Take care, safe travels, health and happiness. Bye!